Welcome to another episode of the For the Culture Podcast, soccer podcast for us, by us. We talk about the intersection of black culture and soccer. Episode 99, one more to 100. Almost there.
Hey, can I say it? Oh, you did it. Go ahead.
You're about to say.
It's like, can I say it? Can I say it? Can I say it?
99 2000. Hey man, that story used to come on in the club. I don't care who was nearby. You was like, I'm dancing with somebody.
Yeah. You could be on the wall all night long. You hear that one song, it's like, I'm going to find something.
Hold on, man. Put my drink down. Put my drink down.
But yeah, you got your boys here. You got your boy Grego here. You got
the night that we won the MLS Cup.
Mm-hmm.
The night we won the MLS Cup.
Yes.
It was cold and rainy outside. They threw that song on in the middle of the parking lot.
Yeah.
It still went off.
You go back into our archive. I think that was like episode 4 or 5. And we were talking about that shit. It's like whoever was rocking that, was rocking the songs, during post game, that shit was done. But yeah, man, you got your boy here, Grego here. You got your boy TK on the ones and twos. Got Mayor in the building. Got Coach here. What's going on, people?
What it do?
Cool. Of course, like I said, we are episode 99, one more to episode 100. Glad to have you guys here with us tonight. It's been a crazy week. We got NFL on Wednesday, MLS on Thursday. Like, it's so weird now. Like, I don't know how to explain it right now, but we're gonna do our best to give y'all the good shit. Of course, thank you guys for listening to us on your favorite podcast apps: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, Podbean, like all the shits, like iHeartRadio, like all of them, man. And of course, on our YouTube channel, FTC UTD. But of course, I think we gotta take a pause real quick, because as we were publishing last week's episode, we got the gigantic news about we lost a king in this game.
Titan, yeah.
Like, I spent like the half of last week and like going into Thanksgiving just trying to figure out how what can you really equate losing Diego Maradona to the game of soccer as a whole. It's like losing a president. It's like losing a king. It's like he's that big. It's basically like him, Pele, maybe Messi, maybe Zidane, but he's basically right there at the tippy top. And at the age of 60, you know, I tell people all the time, it's hard as hell getting old. It's hard as hell. And he definitely gave that shit a good damn run.
I mean, I don't know how Thanksgiving was for you all, but that day on Thursday, and, you know, growing up in a Southern Black household, again, my brother and I were the only ones who play soccer. To this day, my mom and dad still don't know anything about soccer. And so...
all I know is they kicked the ball.
They kicked the ball. You can't use your hands. And then they're like, Tony, why did you use your hands? Are you special? I'm like, yes.
Yes, I am.
Nah, but seriously, my dad was like, Tony, I heard on the news that, you know, some soccer player in Argentina died. And I was like, yeah, Dad, it was pretty. I was like, he's like, he wasn't no Pele. I was like, ooh, but we can
almost.
And then I was like, that it's just like, you know how everybody talks about LeBron and MJ. I was like, this is the same discussion everybody has. If soccer was as the mainstream culture as it is here in the barbershops, you would be hearing the battle between Pele and Maradona.
Right.
Hands down. Just like nowadays we talk about Messi and Ronaldo. Old days it was Pele and Maradona. Who's better?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like of course we started this year losing Kobe. I guess soccer wouldn't be immune if we didn't lose somebody huge and losing Maradona. It's like, damn, man, because like he was managing down in Argentina at Gimnasio, if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, like because like he just had like surgery like a couple of weeks ago, like I think
barely a couple of weeks ago, yeah,
and
it was 2 weeks ago he was like, just admitted out of the hospital.
And like it's wild that basically a month later he's gone, and of course the resume kind of speaks for itself. You know, World Player of the Year, World Cup winner 1986, player of the tournament for that World Cup. Took Argentina to 2 straight World Cup finals in 86 and 1990. Took Napoli to 2 Serie A titles when basically they were never, ever supposed to be thought of as a actual title contender. And, you know, it's obviously people from all over the world have just been showering with tributes. If you ever like just take your time on YouTube, just like you search up Diego Maradona, of course, you're going to see all the tributes, see all the highlights. There's this one video that's famous that we posted on Twitter of him like warming up before a game and playing a song like Live in Life, and shoes are untied, basically, you know, in his warm up gear. And like not a carefree thought in the world. It's like it's basically a man and his ball, and you can't make up that kind of passion that someone and joy that someone has for the game. Like the best way I could put it is as if, you know how some people say like you're married to the ball. That's how that video looks. It's like nobody else has that type of control. Nobody else has that kind of love.
So it's interesting, you know, that video I posted as well on my Twitter, and I actually showed it to my dad to show him like the skills and just like like you said, that pure joy. You know, that video was also in the documentary that's on HBO about his life. And if you haven't seen it, you gotta see it.
Absolutely.
The footage that they got is all like personal footage from either from family members and friends, and it talks about all the drama of his life. And it definitely gives you a perspective that never has been seen before. But the video was in, you know, the game as he was warming up for Napoli, and he had this famous quote that he had said in the documentary as well, too, that he said that the ball was his toy. And like as soon as he said that, I was like, damn right. That's how you got to view the ball. Like it's your toy. You either play with it. It's yours to keep. Yeah, you're going to share it from time to time with your friends and your buddies or whatever, but it's yours to get back and to keep exploring with it. And so I think that, like, you know, in that video, that is definitely just a microcosm of what he was in the game of soccer. And I mean, I highly recommend you all watch it. If you don't have HBO or HBO Max, I'm sure still someone.
Ask a homie. Ask a homie.
Hey, homie. Knock, 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 knock. Log in.
You definitely check that out. But, you know, it's great, too, to see all these tributes and, you know, people across sports are paying homage to them. And, you know, TK and I were just joking a second ago. I mean, I'm going to be real with you. I thought he was on borrowed time, you know, because
as the media likes to say, he was no angel.
I mean, he lived a rough life. And when I say rough, that man partied and he did drugs hard. And so that was no secret. And he was still doing it well into his coaching years, you know, so.
He was doing it in 2018 on national TV. Let's
right. I mean, real. So it's.
Oh yeah, I remember that video. No. There's a video of him, like it had to be like used like a year or two ago, where basically like
game.
Where they like kind of like no, like you don't, you know, cause that's at the like just like when he was coaching, like they basically like they gave him his shit like right there on like why y'all got the camera on me, man? Like, fuck off.
Yeah. It's so obvious because they have like his people mob around him for a second and then he just like disappears. It's like some shit you do with your friends and you're like, I don't know, 20 years old on the beach and smoking some weed and like, hey, the wind's blowing real hard. Circle up. I don't want no one to see me.
But no, like I think that, you know, for someone who he definitely lived a full life. He definitely left a mark. I think that he changed the game pretty much forever because he was definitely, especially at that time where there weren't really a lot of personalities in the game. And he's all personality. Like even like I said, you go look at a lot of those videos on YouTube. Like, you know, even as a retired player, like he had his own box down in Argentina at Boca Juniors. Like he's still supporting with his shirt off, like going like a straight up madman. And
show us again, God, TK. What was he doing sometimes in the box?
And for those of y'all who missed that, like that's TK, you know, with his little middle fingers, you know. Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
It's almost like the Scarface voice. You motherfuckers.
Yeah. But it goes to show you, like that passion was always there. It never went away, even when he retired, even when he coached the national team in 2010 at the World Cup that year. Like that passion never, ever, ever died. Like because like you have so many people who like they try to figure out a way, like, you know, once their play days are over, to kind of, you know, switch off and kind of distance themselves in some way or form. That love and that passion never went away. I think that, you know, even despite the flaws, one of the homies, Alexis Guerrero's from the Cooligans, like he actually had a really nice tribute on Twitter. He's talking about like how, you know, the thing that makes him so beloved is that he actually was a very human being. Like you saw all the flaws. He wasn't out there, you know, being perfect. Like he basically lived his life, you know, on his own terms.
Unapologetic about it. Unapologetic about it.
And like the way I look at it, like he is like whoever, like if there's few people out here that can really live up to the term the people's champion. That's Maradona. He's absolutely a people's champion. Like he was a man of the people. No matter where he was, he fitted anywhere he went, and he made that shit work.
Go ahead. Oh.
I just can't believe we have been speaking about this man's great legacy, great legacy, for about 10 minutes, and we ain't brought up the old oop-de-doop. You know what I'm talking about. The old oop-de-doop.
Which oop-de-doop?
So I was surprised to see a lot of English people praise him because that 86 World Cup, that's where the infamous, notorious hand of God play occurred against England. And that denied England winning the World Cup. I mean, he went on to score again or whatever, but
like I actually watched like the game in full over the weekend, and you had the first goal, the hand of God, that happened like in the 51st minute, then like
the best goal.
Then the goal that happened like right after, it's basically like one of the greatest goals you ever see. He makes a run from pretty much midfield and takes it all the way home, and it's one of those moments where it's like, especially for back then, because like I think like if you did that shit now, it might seem normal, but like back then you didn't see guys basically like speed all the way down and just take it home with, and basically nobody can stop you.
Well, back then too, tackling was a lot more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you could get away with crunching someone and not have to worry about giving even a card. You know what I'm saying? Like you could crunch them. So to have, the huevos to go that whole full length of the field after England and to poke it through and still get tackled while you're poking that ball through to the net. Mm-hmm. I mean, that man single-handedly denied the cup going back home, quote unquote. And
never going home.
I know before he passed away, like a lot of Brits would talk ill of Diego. They would say like, man, like basically cursing his name all the time because he took, their one shining moment to get the cup back home again. That man was like, nah, son, not today. It's going back to South America. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what, though? Like, those two moments in that same game kind of encapsulates Maradona to a whole, because you have the one moment of controversy, and then you have the one moment of straight brilliance. Like, that's basically the duality of Maradona as a whole. It's like he could be, the biggest scoundrel in the world, but he's going to give you a moment of excellence that you just like, it's going to blow your mind any day of the week.
No, he truly showed that he's a flawed human being, but at the same time has the artistry of a Matisse, a Rembrandt, Van Gogh, or Kadir Nelson. Bam.
Okay. There you go.
See what I did there, coach? You see what I did there?
But yeah, man, for a king of this game, one can only hope for the type of career and the type of life that Maradona had. Again, if we're only doing this a little bit of justice, but if, like I said, if you have the time, check out the shit on YouTube. All this out there. What you got, Coach?
I got a question for all three of you.
What's up?
So, Maradona's son has proposed something in honor and memory of his father. Mm-hmm. And he has proposed the idea of retiring the number 10 number jerseys for all the clubs that Maradona played for. And these are all historic clubs.
Right.
Whereas obviously Barcelona, Napoli, Boca Juniors, like these are all iconic clubs. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that? This is like on some Jackie Robinson type stuff. Jackie Robinson, 42, retired all MLB. But what's y'all's thoughts about that?
What you, Mayor?
I would say, I thought about that. He just brought up Jackie Robinson. And even though Jackie Robinson's 42 is retired, the last person to wear 42 was Mariano Rivera.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he played up until a few years ago. I think he was actually given permission to wear the number by the family. So I say that to say I can see the son's point of wanting to retire the 10 from the clubs that his father played. But I think you can do both. I think you can retire the 10, but still allow certain players to wear it just because of the number and the significance of the position and the player that the 10 represents on the pitch. So you can still retire the 10 Maradona in respect to his legacy, but I think you could still give the 10 his position on pitch for those clubs.
What you got, TK?
I'm in a bit of an agreement with Kane. I think it's like we should Napoli, sure. Boca Juniors, sure. Barcelona, not really. I don't think that's gonna fly. Just straight up. Argentina National Team, hell no. You got too many kids who aspire to reach those heights. It's like if they would have taken 23 from the NBA and were like, no, Jordan was the greatest ever. That's it. That's in the story. You leave no room for excellence to come after that. And then it kind of pigeonholes that whole thing. And I think there's a little bit of give and take. So if they did something maybe at some of the clubs where they got permission from the family. Even that gets kind of muddy, you know, like they could just have like some grudge shit where, like, oh, blah, 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 my son's married your daughter, and, you know, like there's all sorts of shit that can happen. So I think it should just be like an honorary retirement. That may sound super American, but, you know, I think that's the solution that gives you prospects for the future to see something and, you know, want to chase after that, and then still give this man his grace and honor his memory, you know, and, you know, so that's my opinion.
TK, to your point, you mentioned two clubs. Well, you mentioned Barcelona and you said Argentina's national team. Who wears number 10 right now?
You already know. That's what I'm saying. It ain't gonna fly.
Right. So you have Maradona, who is a soccer god, football god. But right now, in the eye of soccer right now, who's a god?
Messi.
That wears number 10, Messi. So you're looking at this generation of football and his resonance with the culture and how he is positioned. You're going to tell Messi to take number 10 off? I understand this is out of respect for Maradona, but you're really going to tell Messi, who is
call him
like
back.
God right now, to take 10 off? No, sir.
Call him back. It ain't going to work.
Now, it's already been attempted for Argentina to retire to number 10. That's already been attempted, and FIFA was like, nah, F that ain't happening. This was done years ago.
We need our numbers.
People is like, man, people they ain't letting nobody get bigger than the game.
Right. Which, I mean, to an extent, like, it kind of makes sense.
Right.
It's one of the few times they're right.
Mm-hmm.
Ish. Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
promoting FIFA.
I mean, I think we got two pretty good examples.
But here's the thing that I thought of when I saw that article. Like, you think of like Jordan and what he did with the Bulls, and then, of course, you also think about some people think about, you know, what he did with the Wizards. Now, are we going to say that what he did with the Wizards was worthy of retiring at number 23? Likely not.
Nah.
And all things considered, Maradona was only at Barcelona for 2 years.
Right.
Like, I think people forget that after he left Napoli, he was at Sevilla for like a year.
Yeah, Sevilla time, yeah.
And like, are you retiring a number there too? I'm like, yeah, he was barely there like 6 months. Like, not everyone has, you know, put in the equal time and impact to warrant that type of recognition. Like, granted, he's a god of the game, but at the same time, is he a god of Sevilla? Probably not.
It's not even.
But I think I won't be mad if they.
Oh, sorry. Go for it, Rashad.
I was going to say I understand. I agree with your point, Virgo, but I wouldn't be mad if they still honored that legacy of him being in the game. But he, as far as their culture and their legacy, he is.
Now there is like, because like I see it a lot, especially like in college basketball, because they only have like a limited number of numbers available. What they do is very few get their number actually retired. What they also do is they retire their jersey, which basically says, okay, hey, we're, like I said, like, y'all acknowledge, you know, the achievement in that player, but it doesn't actually retire the number itself. Like, you basically have to have like All-American or Player of the Year to actually get it retired and shit. Like, if you ever like look at like at UNC and like you see like all the numbers that they have recognized like in their rafters and everything, you only have like 5 or 6 that are actually like shit retired, and like nobody can wear them at all. Everybody else is like, yeah, this guy was cool, but you can still wear that number. But
yeah, so it's one of those things. At the end of the day, it's about the dollar. So
yeah,
football,
there's definitely that part that plays into it.
I mean, the number 10 is not just a number. It's not just a jersey.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a position. So it's not like we're talking about the number 33, like, oh, Patrick Ewing or some shit like that, you know? Like, it's different. It's a position and it's a role and it's an iconic thing and all wrapped up in one. So, like, if I'm sitting here looking at the question for Twitter, it's any smart person at any soccer organization is going to say, hell no. My marketing dollars are going out the window. That's like, I guarantee if you looked up statistics for any club and across the world, the number 10 jersey is going to be the top 3 for any club.
Yeah.
So, currently, for Sevilla, who wears number 10?
I haven't checked What?
Rakitic.
Yep. Old Rakitic.
Rakitic
Champions League winner.
Yeah. Carlos Tevez, number 10 for Boca Juniors.
He wore like a 40-year-old Maradona jersey underneath because Boca played River tonight. Matter of fact, while we're recording this, and Tevez scored. He pulls off his shirt. He's wearing a Boca Junior shirt from 1981.
That was a great year. 81 was a great year.
What? 82 was better, but
nah.
Yeah. I was gonna say 86, but that happened.
but yeah, I think that like you said, like there's too many teams that rely on that 10 for commercial purposes. To be like, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and just drop it off entirely. Like they'll have some type of recognition for it, but it won't be taken out of the rotation entirely. Like the only team I could really say that will probably do it for sure is Napoli. They've already renamed their stadium after Maradona down in Argentina. They renamed their League Cup after Maradona, and yeah, I think beyond that, I think it's a stretch. Like even for Boca, like I think it's a little bit of a stretch.
There are a lot of iconic 10s at Boca.
Right. You got Riquelme, you got Tevez, like, and countless other guys. I'm like, yeah, like that one, I don't know for sure. It wouldn't shock me, but I just don't see it. But let us know what you guys think on our Twitter. Should World Football or any of Maradona's clubs retire as 10 at FTC UTD? But yes.
Real quick.
One time.
Real quick. So if you watch the documentary about Maradona on HBO, the one thing I always was interested in, and I did not know this going in before I watched the documentary, is that he kind of identified as being black. And so, with his kind of like poofy afro and everything like that. And I'm saying that to transition into some other drama that happened this past week.
Did we have to reset the clock and I missed it?
Oh, what?
Did we have to reset the clock and I missed it?
Yeah, reset the clock, man. The counter. Damn, COVID. Damn, not even there COVID times. Oh. But I'm saying that because also what happened this past week. Our boys in red, the three of us, our boys in red from the red side of Manchester. They actually had a game last weekend against Southampton. Did well, came back, shocked the world. We shocked the world. They always come back and beat Southampton. They've done it countless times. And it was due to Cavani being subbed on a half. Edinson Cavani from Uruguay did a hell of a job.
That country, man, I'm trying to tell you, man.
They have their history too.
He's on the gram. I think it was on gram. It was on the Instagram. Yeah, he was on the gram. And his boys are shouting him out like, "Good stuff, man." That's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, way to represent the team. Yeah, what up, And he says something in reply, basically, gracias, negrito.
Now, for those of y'all who aren't familiar with it, tell us about the history of the negrito name.
So that comes from the word negro, which in Spanish, which literally means black. It literally means black. So negro is how the Spanish-speaking countries address many people of color as black, negro. Obviously, the word negro, that has a lot of emotion and context and connected with it. And without reading the Instagram room, didn't realize using Negrito is going to be interpreted as offensive because that's saying little blackie, basically.
Now, mind you, this might have been somebody that it seemed like it's somebody that he actually is homies with, but just, you know, it's kind of like your white homie who might say the N-word around his real close homies.
I don't have that white homie. Nope.
Yeah, some people do.
No,
I know they exist.
This is a bad example.
But it's accurate. And they get too loose with it. And then you realize, oh shit, I should have said it out here. And then you realize, yeah, you might get suspended by the FA because you got a little too loose with your homies in public.
This is the story in college of your white friend at the party, and he's on the sauce.
Exactly.
He's like, y'all brought me to the party. I'm at the cookout. The song comes on, and it's like,
again, I said, yeah, read the Instagram room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, like, I've always had, like, it always baffles me. And I'm so curious about it. I feel like I need to do some, like, grad work on this. But, like, I've watched, Black in Latin America with Henry Louis Gates. I've always just been so fascinated by, the Black identity within Latin American culture. Mm-hmm. And I also say it because this summer was one of the hardest challenges I ever had, where I had to talk about Black Lives Matter to an all Spanish-speaking Hispanic group of teenagers. And it was the one time, like, I felt like I missed on something because, like, they literally were looking at me like, what does this mean to us? Okay, Black Lives Matter. Okay. What is it? They did not identify with, like, where's a systemic racist. Like, that flew over their head. And so I say all that because, like, even when it came out about the Cavani replying like that, and then I started searching just like, is Negrito like a fully accepted word? And of course, it says like there's like 2 countries that accept that word as like a term of endearment, and Uruguay being one of them. And I was like, of course, that's their loophole. That's their effing loophole.
Because remember, your boy did that, years back with your hero, with your hero Patrice Evra. And that didn't go down too well.
No, it did not. Honestly, man, you guys are savvy to the Netflix show Narcos. There is a character called
Blackie.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that just goes to show you, I mean, honestly, I think that's I'm not sure if that's actually part of the story with Escobar and his close entourages, or if that was just poor writing from, whoever wrote that part of the script. As far as
it was probably accurate.
However,
as far as his name being Blackie,
just free.
Either way,
no, that's accurate. They really called him Black.
Either way, then that just goes to furthermore prove the point that it is a widely used term, and they're just going to refer to you as your skin, by skin color. Negrotis, I
mean, if you're the only black guy in a Latino, Hispanic,
But that's not the thing, though, man. Like, black is blended in South America.
That is true.
It's true. It's not the same.
Well,
like, you be more outside.
That's a deep dive right there. That's a deep dive.
Because then you have the whole.
Wait.
What's the word?
It's a whole deep dive. It's a whole deep dive.
No, I'm just
put the cap on.
No, I'm about to put my swimming cap on and dive in a little bit because, and this is what our show is about, man. Like, this is the culture of soccer, and this is culture I deal with all the time. And just the fact that, like, especially during this whole election period, they talk about the Latinx vote. And that's where I laugh. I'm like, y'all idiots. There's no monolithic term of what you can say as far as the Latinx vote. Do you know how diverse the Latinx community is? Like, just like if you say the black vote, it is as diverse as you can be. It's crazy to try to give this whole sweeping statement for a whole group of ethnic people. And
probably even more so because you literally have, people from like a dozen different countries. Mexicans don't think like Panamanians. Panamanians don't think like Dominicans. Dominicans don't think like
the Caribbean. Just like, look at the Caribbean. Look at the island of Hispaniola. You got Dominicans on one side and you got Haitians on the other. Just that island on the other.
Yeah.
Just that island on the other. And so when you really think about how
it's not friendly.
We don't fuck with them.
No, but I mean, I just think it's interesting that, and the reason why I brought that up to connect it all. If you watch the documentary and how Diego Maradona, like he was kind of identified as being black, that was a surprise to me. And then here you go, Edinson Cavani down in Uruguay, and he's calling his black friend Negrito. And I'm just putting it out there.
I totally get it because Maradona definitely had like his strong political beliefs. Anybody who's seen his War Criminal Bush T-shirt, he made it known and didn't hide that shit. But
man was hanging with Castro on the regular. You know what I'm saying? Homies, smoking cigars together and everything.
But
probably
But yeah, I got my cup washed this week. So yes, I said one time for Diego Armando Maradona. I said this one's for you, man.
Cup, shot. Damn, he already drunk. He don't know where his cup is.
He couldn't find it.
I'm trying to find the ball, man.
He just moved and everything. So, things are still a little in disarray at the moment.
You couldn't find the glass without the wine in it.
So yeah, hopefully you guys had a good Thanksgiving. I know, again, like we talked last week, definitely a different Thanksgiving for a lot of people this year. But we got a little. What?
Did we do a Thanksgiving wrap?
We did last week.
Okay. I was going to say, what was your favorite meal or favorite item?
Oh, typically, as long as I get some fried turkey, I'm straight.
All right.
As long as I get that,
my favorite item?
From this Thanksgiving.
See, Grego's talking about this fried turkey. I actually fried a turkey 2 days after. So if that counts.
That counts.
I think it.
Tony?
I think it can't. How was it, Grego?
Oh, see, you are the purveyor of such fried turkey. I see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That came out pretty well. Everybody else that ate it said they liked it. So,
I mean,
glad to be at the service.
He's getting you his meal, so I ain't see what he had.
Rashad's like, I put on. Tony, what's up? What you got? Yams?
So, it was just the four of us, me, my mom, my dad, and my brother, and we didn't have a lot of leftovers like I predicted. But, I think some of y'all laughed, but we always have the turkey, of course, but then we always have boar's head ham as well too. So that goes hard. Boar's head ham always goes hard. Mm-hmm. Now, my mama didn't do her greens. She did this is it greens. She did this is it greens. And
for those of y'all who don't know what this is it is, it's a restaurant here in Atlanta. It's a staple of the hood.
Black owned.
Some people I learned when I first moved here. I learned I was truly in the South when I heard a radio ad for This Is It. It was right after Thanksgiving, and they were talking about they were promoting their chitlins. Now it's like I don't get that in Richmond.
All right, so it's right there. I have friends.
It's the rib tips.
They were like, they were gonna come over to be with the fan, whatever. And I was like, "What you bringing?" They were like, "Chitlins." Like, nope, keep that smelly shit away.
That smell.
But anyway,
for our listeners who aren't quite sure what chitlins are, explain it to it, Mayor.
chillerins.
We have audience members who don't know what chitlins are.
I mean, we got a lot of Caucasians that might not know. So we got.
All right, for all our France listeners, this is for you guys. Go ahead, Mayor. Tell them about the chitlins.
Oh,
they
want to know what the chitlins?
Yeah,
the chitlins, chitterlings, the chitterlings. What we call them, chitlins.
Yeah.
If you really want to know. It's something that is, it's taken out of a particular animal, protein source. It's usually cleaned thoroughly, and they come with a very, very, very distinctive odor. That when you smell it, if you know what it is, you know what it is.
You know what it is.
And what that is it's swine, but it's
coming from
the intestines of the swine.
I like how you put it. Usually thoroughly cleaned.
Usually it has to be.
Confident.
Yes.
No poop.
Yes, it has to be. Because if not, you will be.
We don't back bottom grizzle lumps.
All right, folks. Chitlins History 101. For me, it was similar to Tony, ham. I love the ham. I don't eat turkey, so I will procure a ham from the Honey Baked Ham because I got to have the maple crust. I have a lot of leftovers for that tomorrow. Yes, my child.
Oh, you know what else I had though?
What's up?
Oxtail.
We
Yeah,
don't want to let you down, man, but
All right, we got to keep it moving. Greg, what's next on the itinerary here?
Playoffs, of course. We got to see where we at on this bracket, man. We got to see what's up with this bracket here, man.
They have playoffs in soccer? Or
I know, like
must be MLS.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let y'all later.
Yeah, because the meteor did not take over Orlando and New England, unfortunately. Your boy Bruce Arena is one step closer to another MLS Cup final. New England beating Orlando 3-1. Just a quick note on that, because I know that there's probably going to be some Orlando supporters that try to shit on Atlanta because we sucked this year. Let's know this. You can't go far if your players keep getting sent off, because I think they had another one. They got sent off against New England. Basically, damn near tried to take off the dude's calf in the slide tackle. Like after they had two guys sent off in the NYCFC game, like that shit. Like you actually might have had a chance if you just weren't doing stupid shit.
That's the thing about them, man. They don't have they play well together at times, but like you're saying, it's like they
lose their heads.
Yeah. There's not a team leader. Like Nani is not that guy because he'll lose his cool too. And I mean,
he gets intense. I did not think
earlier
that
in the season he was hitting them again. I don't know. He off now.
Yeah,
it's weird, but they need a leader, like a general, like someone who's like, hey man, stop with the stupid shit, so they can keep their heads. I think they could have won that game, but cooler heads will prevail, as they say.
And then we had Columbus beating Nashville 2-0. Seattle beat Dallas 1-0. That was actually a pretty scrappy game. Like I think that was probably a trap game for Seattle after taking out LAFC. But Dallas gave them a hard job. And like we said earlier, we're still waiting on Sporting KC in Minnesota, because basically what they did, and I'm going to get into this in my 2 up, 2 down, is because in the NFL, Pittsburgh and Baltimore basically waited like 2 months to finally have their game today. They decided, MLS decided, let's put this game on Thursday on prime time on Big Fox, so that way we can get a big audience and everything. Like, we'll see how this goes. By the time this episode airs, this game will be on, and I said we'll see if it brings the audience that the MLS wants. So we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, we're at the conference finals, so we got New England and Columbus. We got our original teams out in the East, and then in the West we got Seattle playing the winner of SKC and Minnesota. Like, what are you guys' picks for the make MLS Cup? This is your turn, Tony.
Oh, you calling on me?
Yeah. Who has the nicest mascot? The Revs or the Crew?
I'm going Crew. I'm actually going to give actual reason why. I guess an educated guess, if you will. No, I obviously my bias is against the Revs due to the fact that they're led by Bruce Arena. I really am not a big fan of his, but I also think, as far as I did get to see Columbus Crew play a little bit. I probably watched the game for about 20 minutes, and I think this is the Crew's year again. I got to give shouts out to our boy Nagby. He always has a special place in my heart, even though he left us high and dry. No reason, but anyway,
be close to my family. Your family's here. Your family's here, B.
Just bring your family down to Buckhead and just chill out, man.
It's really that simple.
Anyway, but yeah, I got Crew. Final statement. Final decision.
Yeah. Who you got, Mayor? Oh, who you got in the West, Tony? You got?
I think last time I picked KC because. So
are they going to beat Seattle?
No, Seattle. Okay. So I got Sounders versus Crew, the final. It's kind of a boring title, I know, but yeah,
it's 2020. It's crazy shit.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Who you got, Mayor?
Crew.
West.
So I got that. So assuming, general consensus last week was Sporting KC amongst us. I had Minnesota in the upset, but assuming KC goes, I got a physical matchup against KC in Seattle, and I'll take Seattle and the Crew in the finals.
Keep your pick, man. Let's see if it does just Seattle. What happens there?
Even if I keep my pick, it'll be Seattle and Crew in the finals.
Are we doubling that on? Are we tripling down on that, TK?
Confident. I think the Crew are gonna make it. It feels like New England are gonna kind of stumble their way there, but I don't think they're gonna get past the Crew. And I only say that with the exception to if they play like they did for the last 30 minutes, in the first 30 minutes, it's a done deal as far as the Eastern Conference is concerned. And yeah, I think we are triple down on this. Yeah, Seattle, they're looking like they're the real deal. Like all the pieces are there, and your boy Morris is looking quite in form.
Yeah, I didn't realize like he's actually pretty clutch in the playoffs. I think he's got 6 goals and 3 assists in the all time in the playoffs. The dude's money.
Stats.
And I think between him, Ladero, Rodon, it's kind of crazy that they've been able to maintain this longest. They have the all time longest playoff streak in like 12 years. Like, in most cases, most teams don't last that long as far as having that type of sustained success. And I don't see that ending against either Minnesota or Sporting KC, even though I think if Sporting KC makes it to the conference finals, that will be a pretty tough game. But I think that especially with whatever you want to call this home field advantage right now, I think Seattle should get it. And I think that out of the East, it's basically been like a war of attrition. And I think that New England basically has the best. What am I doing? Columbus has the best squad between those two. So, yeah, I think it's a clean sweep. It should be Seattle and Columbus in the final. And it'll probably put Coach to sleep. But, we'll see how that goes. But let us know what you guys are thinking. If y'all got something else, let us know. But
what if New England win?
Make it stop.
What's one big move that came out this week as a result of their early exit? Greg Vanney from Toronto is moving on from Toronto.
This is a lot of Canadian news, actually. A lot of Canadian footy news.
It should, because you gotta remember where Toronto was before he came on. Because basically they were a team that were constantly overspending, constantly under delivering, and he turned that he got them to a point where
has that changed?
What?
Constantly overspending, constantly under delivering.
They don't spend like they used to. They were spending blindly. They were spending on Torsten Frings when he was washed.
I don't know.
They're not spending as much as they were on Giovinco now. So with their replacements on him, so no, it's definitely a different mindset now. But you're basically talking about a team who was perpetual pretenders and basically got them to a PK away from becoming CONCACAF Champions League winners. And so I think for someone who spent 7 years there, turning that team into a winner, into a perennial contender, that deserves a huge salute. They haven't confirmed yet because it looks like he might be heading over to LA Galaxy. He's a former player there. All I know is that if that ink is not dry yet, or even on the paper yet, Atlanta needs to take a strong look at him. Because I think for what we were talking about the past few weeks with what we need here, he kind of fits that bill in spades, because you have someone who stuck around for 7 years at Toronto, turned them into a winner, sustained that, and basically changed the philosophy and outlook at that club. And for what we are talking about, what we need here, yeah, that he fits that. Okay, nothing. Okay.
I don't know. I'm not really currently at the moment. I'm just not bought into what we have going on as far as the home team is concerned in regards to a new manager. It's just a bunch of speculation here and there, and I know that they were publishing some articles with strong links to the gentleman you're speaking about. But I'm just I don't think anyone really thought
that he'd leave, because it's not like they sucked this year. They finished second in the East. They just won the MLS Cup final last year. They've been to the final 3 of the last 4 years, and I think that if anything, there's probably more to talk about as far as moving on from Josie and Bradley and Omar Gonzalez. I can understand that, but if nothing else, you still keep the coach, and you try to rebuild with that coach. But now they don't want to even have that. And you were saying something before we were recording, we were talking about maybe putting Michael Bradley as coach.
Why? Why? No credentials, no pedigree. Like, oh, my dad is the coach. He did this, he did that. I know too many fucking stories about people who got shit because their dad was something. Move on. That's my take on. I don't care for Michael Bradley. It wouldn't matter if he had on an Atlanta United shirt or United's men's national team shirt. I just don't care for him. Josie's almost on the list, but I'm trying to culture it up as much as possible these days.
Well, we're about to get on Josie in a minute because, of course, we actually got more USA games coming up next week. But yeah, I don't know if that's a rumor. I don't know how solid that rumor is. I've always seen him as someone who could become a coach one day. I don't think it's happening right now because he's just 33, I believe. And granted, there have been coaches in the past that have started that early, kind of like Jason Christ. He started at 34, but I don't think that he's probably at that point where he's about to quit. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it just yet.
But do you get coaching badges, accreditations in a year? Are we going to hand this to him?
No, okay. So no. No, it's going to be like, not to say it's nepotism, but it's obviously because of who his dad is and who he's connected to. And not to say, I'm not a Michael Bradley fan, but at the same time, he has done shit for the United States over time. And he's been captain of Toronto for 10 years. So someone, who's been a captain, obviously they tend to show leadership capabilities, which then sometimes can transfer over into coaching. I get it. I'm not going to say that. But as far as the coaching licenses and badges or whatever, there's hundreds of other more candidates. And and especially because this is for the Culture Podcast, we can go over a countless amount of candidates who are of color, who have their badges, who have had time, experience, who come from a diverse Caribbean culture background to serve to the city of Toronto. Because if you know anything about Toronto, there's a huge Caribbean culture there.
Yep.
So, the whole Michael Bradley thing, I hope that's not taken as serious. I hope the guy, if it is, then that's just adding another brick to the reason why Tony does not like the MLS.
But it's campaign against culture, man, because you just highlight it. Are we just going to hand this to him? Compile with what Tony just said. Come on.
No.
I know we're running a bit on time, but I know, like I said, the U.S. plays next week. We just caught up a pretty MLS friendly roster up. Coach's boy is making a return. Bilal is back.
Good. You know what?
Finally freed the real.
He's the number one keeper in the United States of America. All right? Damn it. And he has the stats to prove it. I don't know if he does now. I haven't checked those stats.
I see. This could kind of suck. It's still like, hey, you're making up for lost time. But no, actually, it's a pretty young squad. Aside from Hamid, I think the players with the most caps are Legit, Kellen Acosta, and Walker Zimmerman. But you have a lot of youngsters. You got Brendan Harrison, Jordy Mihalovic out of Chicago. Your boy Ayo from Toronto, Akinola. He's getting his first call up. So
that was deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. And Daryl DK out of Orlando. There are some guys that I think a lot of people have been wanting to see, get some action with the national team. Of course, this is just basically an off calendar friendly against El Salvador, but at the same time, it's an opportunity and we can see what they do there. I know from what I've heard, they're still planning on having a January camp roster, which will probably include more of the guys because you're still missing guys who are still in the playoffs. So there's no Jordan Morris, there's no Christian Roldan, there's no guys from Atlanta because we actually got Champions League for some ungodly reason. So there's no Bello or Gazan. So there's definitely but I think that for a lot of these guys, there's definitely at least an opportunity to make a statement. And hey, you never know what they might do and make their faces known. But yeah. Of course, a bit of housekeeping on here. Like I said, next week is our 100th episode. I'm not sure what we're gonna do. Like 2020 is kind of just messed us up all in different ways. So it's like it's a milestone we're celebrating, but at the same time, can you really do it because it's still a fucking pandemic? I don't know. Like we'll figure something out and make this exciting for you guys next week. Make sure you stay tuned for our 100th episode for the For the Culture Soccer Podcast.
Centennial greetings.
But yeah, make sure you check out that. We might have some special guests who we can dig up and whatnot.
We'll do like 100 questions. Just let the whole show be questions.
No.
We might have to stop around 23. We're done. We're done. No more questions.
No, man.
But
let's
celebration
Europe, man. Yeah.
You know what? I think we get nostalgic and just we'll go to a kitchen table. We'll have
bro.
We'll have
the smoke with no 9-volt in it.
Yeah, got to.
It can't be a battery in it.
And then we'll record it twice because the shit never goes first time.
Yeah.
Let's do that for the 100th.
Back to our roots.
Yeah, exactly.
Get back to the basics.
Where you came from. Do not forget where you came from.
Maestro, we coming for you, man.
That's it.
Yeah, Maestro.
It's been agreed.
When's it coming back?
Get him right there. Just throw it.
Matter of fact, we will. Matter of fact, because I know we just had our Black Friday sales and Cyber Monday sales, and thank you guys for everyone who made their orders. I think we will have a sale on ftcutd.myshopify.com. If you go on there right now, get 20% off with the promo code episode 100. So I got to create that because I just thought of it right now while I was thinking about it. But yeah, we got to celebrate this. It's a celebration for us. It's a celebration for you guys. We're sticking with us for this long. And definitely be on the lookout for that. We're coming out with new stuff. We typically refresh our name set styles from year to year. I don't know if you guys have seen our new stuff for 2021.
Ooh, it's fire. Yeah. Blizz.
I wish we could draw some clues bonds for that right now.
But yes, definitely make sure that you
we could say
support
we're
us.
going to get our Red Stripe sponsorship back.
We're getting our Red Stripe back. We're getting our Tolero sponsorship back. We're getting it all back. We're getting it all back. But
fire coming.
But yeah, man. My boys, our boys, I don't know about TK's boys. Y'all keep shutting people out. Mendy's a problem. I know I gave love to him last week, but now I'm like, he might be a problem.
I tried to tell y'all guys. Mendy is clean sheet specialist.
No, he is.
He just lights out.
I hope he can continue to do this. But God damn, this league and Champions League, it's not even this motherfucker is I feel like I'm playing FIFA when this dude is stepping on the field. Nah, son.
This man shows.
We
Up.
we have to make a Mendy special, man. Like we might have to make a Mendy special kit, shirt, something. I don't know, man.
Hey, man, that dude is clean sheet king right now.
Lights Out Mendy.
Like something we got. I mean, like the brother, the fact that like he stepped into a high pressure role, and knowing that Chelsea had like broken the bank for the number one starter originally.
Yeah.
For Kepa.
And
now you got them thinking. Now you got them thinking, Kepa, come January, deuces. That is some boss shit.
Yeah.
Hey, Caballero, you're number 2. Still.
You know, hey, God, you know myself, Rashad, Grego. Wait, there we go. Here. You know, we will trash Chelsea with the quickness.
All too ready. The smoke is on a lot.
But, as, you know, the great Riley Freeman said, game recognized game.
Always.
The realist of the talk.
But no, I think that he's definitely lived up to everything that all the questions that Kepa had, Mendy has
answered twice.
Answered them 2 times, 3 times.
And shouts out to, you know, like I'm not a fan of Thiago Silva. I'm not. I've never been. I've hated him. Always.
Me too.
Always. But you gotta give props. Right? You gotta give props to what, ever since he's been in that role now, in that back line with Chelsea, and that combination of working with Mendy, something is working right on that.
He's been that presence. I mean, like I think that what happened was, especially with him being at PSG for so long, and it's like you never really knew for sure if he was really that good. You're like, okay, I kind of see it now.
No, he's an old head for sure. Like, he was doing that for Brazil,
like,
you know?
Exactly. It's like he's always like he was captain with PSG. He was captain for Brazil for the longest. And like I said, like I think that given the results with both of those teams and like in different tournaments and competitions, you're always like, is he really that presence and that leader? And you realize, yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is. And then you saw like your boy, the original beard god, Olivier Giroud, just had a whole perfect hat trick.
French Schmiedy. +1.
Can I say something about y'all? Like y'all doing well and everything like that. Is kudos to y'all. But that pink kit, man, I'm sorry, it's trash, dude.
I agree.
Like that pink palace.
I can't wait until next year is here. We are doing a green, and we're bringing back the orange for the 3rd kit. So it's on Footy Headlines. They already did the leak for 2021 and 22. So check that out when you get a moment. We will likely
put it in the graphics intern.
Yeah, we'll put that in the graphics if we can.
Damn it.
So I don't know. It's one of those things we're working on. But you know, it's in regards to Chelsea, Mendy, and just like the overall squad, Thiago Silva. It's a synergy, essentially, man. Like the team is playing, you know, like I think every player on the squad is improved. And today, I think really was illuminating that because we played Andres Christensen, we played Antonio Rudiger for the culture. And it's just like, yeah, well, it's one of those things where he's like kind of been on the cuffs of many people's lips and saying he's going to get sold this upcoming window in January. So we really don't know at the here and now, but as far as I'm concerned, I'd rather have him on the bench in our reserves, whatever that may be, than say David Luiz. So you know, he's fine to hang out at Chelsea and collect the paycheck.
Shout out to my boy Yogi talking about who was like the worst Brazilian in the EPL. And I think you were like David Luiz. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Joel Linton.
Unquestionable.
David Luiz.
Yeah.
I've never.
Oh, yeah, because they're talking about Fred, and then his stupid ass today getting sent off. But yeah, Fred has his moments, but David Luiz, like at this point, yeah, it's time to wrap that thing up and just head on home. Either he's going to head home or probably messed around it. Willian, yeah.
What is it? David or not? Is it? I can't remember what it's called, but whatever. They got a restaurant in London between him and William. They're co-partnerships and ownership, which is a big reason for those who may not have known why they were.
We got to stay here. Check out our business.
Stay in London. Although there are rumors that William will be leaving Arsenal. Even though I thought he signed a 2-year contract, maybe even a 3-year.
Well, if it's 2 years, it's really just 1 year. Because I mean, that's the case I think with any sport. Like if it's 2 years, that means that if we like you, we'll keep you the second year. Otherwise, you're done at that 1 year.
Yeah. Well, either way, he's reported to be headed to the MLS, the big MLS. So that was supposed to be the segue from Europe to America, but we did the shit backwards. So we might have to cut and reverse it like some Missy song. But Chelsea.
But
no, it's like I said, it's a synergy. I think there is something to be said for the leadership that Thiago Silva is bringing to the back, and it's nice to see because 4-0 Giroud with the hat trick and in a bucket, maybe I guess
possibly.
How do you describe 4 goals? A double brace? Tony, you
got we need Ringo back for another.
I like to say a hat trick with the cherry on top type of thing. You know,
yeah, that's what I said in a bucket. It's like you got a hat trick in a bucket. Like, all right,
that's how I like it.
Hat trick in a bucket, 2 tears in the bucket.
Oh, I said.
But yeah, do you want to harp on United more? I mean, I want to give you guys the full opportunity to just bitch about your team.
Nah,
at least 30 seconds.
Nah. All I know is Papa won't play defense, and that's really all I got.
I think we knew that when he came to United, though.
We did know that. Yeah, that ain't nothing new.
I think people are trying to overlook that and say, like, hey, he can do this, and like he can shoot from distance and all that shit. And it's like, especially given the fact that the defense has still basically been shaky for years, basically.
Do you know how much you spent on Maguire in comparison to some other back lines?
Far too much.
Are we doing that?
Far too much. He is not Van Dijk. He is not.
Giving. Okay. All right. I need you to be, compassionate right now and not acknowledge those things that we know are our weaknesses and our flaws. Okay. We know that we spent way too much on this center half. He was not even that great.
I think, like I said a few months ago, if he had been like 50 million, it'd be a lot easier to swallow. But at 80-something million, fuck that.
It's one of those things where, like, is Dillette even worth that? You know?
And then what kills me is, like, so this January transfer, like, all the rumors I hear we're still focused on Sancho, Jadon Sancho, of course. And I'm like, all right, yeah, okay, fine. If
we don't need attackers. We need midfield and we need backline.
And like, if you can't get like Upamecano or like, or remember Koulibaly with that one. But Koulibaly is going to be like.
Honestly,
I got one for you. I got one for you. If you want to do an attacker right now, learn this name, y'all. Eduardo Camavinga. Learn that name. He's going to be a real big deal real soon. I think he plays for.
I'm surprised. Since we're in Europe now we're back to my expertise. I'm surprised you didn't say anything, Grego, about Jesse Marsch, man.
Oh, next week's gonna be lit. Next week is gonna be lit as shit.
Jesse Marsch. So, just for the coach to know that Jesse Marsch was head coach of RB Leipzig. He's
no Salzburg.
I'm sorry, but like the fact that like This man is coaching in the Champions League. Like, we don't give that enough credit. Like,
and just might make the knockout stage.
Like, that's some legit baller stuff right now. You know what I'm saying?
A team in Austria, not Germany, not Leipzig, Austria.
Right. So, I mean, like, that needs to be recognized.
Like, he's right there next to the CEO. You're like, I'm in the homeland.
Spaces. I believe their league only gives them 2 Champions League spaces.
Yeah, because they won the league last year, so like he's definitely been doing this thing in that regard. But then you actually have to navigate through the group stage and everything, and like for the most part, I think he's pushed them as far as they could possibly go to where they actually have a chance to make it to the knockout stage, and that really does deserve that's an up in itself, because obviously people don't typically see American coaches in Europe doing their thing like this. So, and I think we mentioned a few weeks back that over in Germany, they're looking at him. He turned down the Schalke job, and it looks like either he's going to take over at Leipzig next year, or he might go to Dortmund. So, like I said, that's something to keep an eye on, going forward into the season. As far as where he ends up next, of course, should have been with the national team, but thanks a lot for PSG.
Nah. He needs to wait. Like, if he were the national team, it needs to be next.
At this point, yeah, I think that if it's not him for 2026, because like, of course, that's a big one where we're hosting the World Cup. How can it not be him?
No, it needs to be where he's reaping the benefits of all of these players playing at a high level in Europe.
Everybody in their ultimate form.
Even with that, he's got to put in the, I think this is the easiest parallel to run to Jesse Marsh is going to be like a Gareth Southgate. But I think he needs.
Even Southgate didn't have this kind of run, because he never really, I think the only club that he managed at was at Middlesbrough, and he kind of sucked.
I'm not talking about club management. I'm talking about national team management. The time he has in the position leading into a major world tournament.
Oh yeah. You definitely get before cycle, yeah.
And that's what I'm leading to, is that if he is going to get that job, they need to get the timing right so that he can implement correctly. Otherwise, and it's just really not going to be effective, and it will essentially be for nothing unless they intend to let him run to 2026.
I mean, he's essentially been exposed to all those players that have been playing in Champions League that are from the States. So, you got that crew on top of the rest of the crew that has been playing in Europe overall.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously, mix in the other higher talents that are coming through, either from the younger age groups or also who come from the other various leagues throughout the world. But I mean, that would be the time, by the time the World Cup is here in Atlanta. Yeah, I said it.
Well, I see another article saying like we just bid for a spot. I'm like, are they just like
we're going to get the semifinals. The key thing is if we're going to be the media hub,
and that's going to be huge.
That's going to be the question.
Yeah,
that's going to be huge.
I hope we get it, but based on previous activity already, with broadcasts and such, we know Atlanta's not a favorite city in regards to broadcast hubs.
I mean, there's always New York, there's always LA, but I think that outside of those two cities.
What?
But the thing about it is, so you also got to think about the offering of the stadiums on the capacity level. So the fact that, Mercedes-Benz Stadium offers 70,000 plus.
It could do more.
And so that is what's weighing heavy. Or that helps us out a lot as far as the negotiation aspect.
And it doesn't hurt that the stadium has basically a cutting edge, media center within the stadium. Yeah.
And it's also platinum level LEED certified stadium. It's the only one that's
platinum, $1,000
in the world, Greg. But then also we're obviously with being the home base for many companies and corporations. So.
Yeah, we should have already learned about this stuff by now, but thanks COVID and thanks 2020. But hopefully we'll get that information all, I guess, at some point next year. But let's wrap this up with 2 up and 2 down. What you got, Coach?
Oh, I'm going first. All right, I wrote it down. Let's see. All right, let's start with my down first. I actually have a down this time.
What?
I know. All right.
Mr. Positivity.
All right. So I got 1 down and 3 ups.
Okay.
First, the down. Young Thug.
Tragic.
If y'all haven't heard or seen anything, Young Thugger, who is, this generation's new age, like, icon rap. Like, when I talk to my high schoolers that I coach, they think Young Thug is the best hip-hop / rap artist out. And I'm like, all right, I'm not a fan. And I was just like, that's just not my cup of tea. That man has gone on to say, and double down, really, the reasons why he does not listen to Andre 3000 of Outkast or will work with Andre 3000 of Outkast. And it just showed the word is ignorance. Lack of
we have done our youth wrong.
Right.
That's the thing. We're not. We didn't do something, and this is why there's a disconnect.
And that's where I'm just like, I know y'all always make fun of me, like I'm the old man in the rocking chair thing, like that. Like I take that title, but at the same time, like this is where I'm like, damn it, I know good music and I know decency and this and that, whatever. Young Thugger, bruh, seriously, man. Like that's also like, that's like on some Trump level. That's like some Trump shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm gonna have Giuliani represent me. Like the hell are you thinking? So that was just wrong. He's also from the A, So
Atlanta violence should never happen.
Yeah. So that was my down.
We've been here before.
We have been here before. But going into my ups, I got 3 ups. Number 1 up, Sarah Fuller, kicker for Vandy. I think that's some bullshit. I think it's pretty cool what she did. She's the first woman within the Power 5 conference to play for, American football game, and she got her little squib kick on. And that's the other thing. Like, people were like, "Oh, what kind of kick?" Whatever. Like, y'all, it's a squib kick. Come on, like, if you watch the game,
guys all the time.
Come on, it's a squib kick. But at the same time, I see that she's in the lineup for this weekend against UGA, and she's the only kicker lined up. So, Vandy, I watched the game. I was like, ew.
Mind you, like they're like 0-8. They just fired the coach. I think I'm pretty sure the coach, Derek Mason, black coach.
Brother, he's a brother.
Yeah, like he's been there 7 years. Like he's the only the second coach to take Vanderbilt to 2 bowl games. So like he did his thing there. Just that this year, 2020, everything went to shit. But I'm pretty sure that he probably knew that he was on the way out. So you know what? I got something for that. Go ahead.
You know what? Let me leave up bang. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So props to Sarah Fuller though, and she's also a goalkeeper too. So I gotta give love and props to the goalkeeper union out there. After she won the SEC title with the soccer team, and then they're going. I don't know if y'all know this, but they won't actually play the NCAA tournament until the spring. So that's just the way it's set up. But props to Sarah Fuller for putting it down for doing it for the ladies, as Grego loves to say.
For the ladies.
All right. Then 2, here's a nerd in me. Don't y'all laugh. But I was excited that Ready Player 2 came out in books. I was a big fan for Ready Player One.
Okay.
Actually, the actual book. I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the book, y'all. I didn't know if y'all know this, but I can actually read.
I can read.
But Ready Player 2 is out now. I'm excited. I've already started it. I haven't finished it yet, but that's where I'm getting my nerdum off right now, and it has me, flipping pages and everything. If you saw a movie, it gives it a gist, but it doesn't do it justice. Always, the book is always usually better than the movie. So I'm feeling good about that. And then
quick question there. Books, still physical books, or are you e-reading?
I do both. So it's funny because I'm doing actually a mix of Audible and the actual book.
Okay.
So if I'm in the vehicle for a while, I'll do Audible, and then I'll catch up in the book physically, tangibly, at home. So
Gotcha.
I do a mixture of that. I don't read as much on the actual phone or iPad or whatever, or laptop. But I do a mix of Audible and actual tangible. So yeah, I'm old school. I still like feeling page turners. I do like page turners. And then last up, I'm a big Mandalorian fan. Fine. I'm not going to release. I don't know if I should release it and say it, but we finally know Baby Yoda's name. That's one thing. We have Rosario Dawson, in this last episode.
Spoilers! Stop it! Spoilers! Spoilers!
But this last...
Yeah, we just don't know what character she plays.
I'm only on episode 3. Stop it!
So yeah, last episode, last Friday.
Did you see my girl Sasha Banks a couple episodes ago?
Yeah, she was one of the Mandalorians, or
yeah. I saw that. That was pretty dope.
Representing WWE, so I'm a big Mandalorian fan, and so there was a big shift, like a big plot change as to things that are going on with that story. So if you have access to Disney Plus accounts, thank you, Grego, appreciate it. Yeah, Mandalorian has definitely consumed I went on YouTube. I was on Heavy Spoilers. I was on New Rock Stars. I was getting my nerdum on, diving deep into all that stuff. So glad to see that this story, we all love this story. I love to see the story kind of taking off now. So that's me.
What you got, TK?
Oh, sorry. Asterisk. What? Next week is my birthday. So.
Yeah. We've already got something planned for that, so
We're doing 100th episode, Tony. Come on.
Hey.
Yeah, and on that note, my brother's birthday is coming up next week, this weekend as well. So happy birthday, Sammy! But yeah, that's all you got.
That's me.
What you got?
Leave a little room for the piñata, Tony. Come on. All right. Yeah. Down this week, I will say, is I lost a external hard drive that contained about 2 terabytes. No, it wasn't about. It was 2 terabytes of data. Yeah, that was a hard L to take. And
what was included in this terabyte of data?
Every beat I've made in the last year and a half, every FTC podcast, video and audio, every work assignment I've done for product demos, a lot of stuff, a lot more stuff that I've forgotten about at this point. Like, oh yeah, that was on there. So that's a big L to take, man. I'm sure it's happened to a lot of people before. They lose a drive and don't have a backup for the backup. So
lesson learned. Use the FTC Dropbox.
Yeah. They're not our sponsor yet. We'll We'll work that up. We'll work that up one day. An up, I guess. I wanted it to snow, but it flurried over here in the mixed race part of Cobb County. where you see a little bit of everyone.
Oh God!
So we got flurries up here. I was a little disappointed.
I think I saw flurries, just like very minuscule flurries.
I was on Metropolitan Parkway actually when I felt the flurry in my eye when I came out to get my tag renewed.
Yeah, so there's that, and then I guess I didn't really want to talk about this, but I guess I'll mention it. It's a down intertwined with an up, I suppose. Over the Thanksgiving holiday, lost a good friend to the organization that I volunteer with. And even though I've never met the man, I am very good friends with his wife. He was hit head on in a car accident and died. And so it was just pretty tough to take. But, we were just trying to lift up their family and support and do all we could do to show that we're there for them. So we were able to organize this socially distanced thing where we all met up and like this parking lot. And then we drove over to their house and made a bunch of donations. Someone went to the store. Everyone had like a job. We sang in their front yard in like these socially distanced, pods of each family or respective household, things like that. So it was nice to see and be a part of someone lifting up someone else, or rather a group of people lifting up someone else when they're in a time of need. And it's just unfortunate the circumstances of having to get together to do that, to uplift someone. And I guess that's like a one up, one down kind of thing. Also lost a family dog over the holiday, and that's tough. It's just I had to kind of be very, very supportive, and I saw a lot of people close to me, in pain and hurting emotionally over the holiday. So that was a tough thing for me, and I'm going through some stuff myself that I won't comment on, but it's life is a hell of a roller coaster, and best you could do is just hold on and hope for the best. So you're just going to try to put more good out there in the world than bad. So yeah, that was I guess my last little bit for 2 Up 2 Down, but just want I guess try to leave everyone on a positive note. Like Greg was always saying at the end of the episodes, reach out to your family, hug your family, tell your friends you love them. There ain't nothing punk about that.
Absolutely not. And like we've said in this episode, like there's always, if it gets to the point where you need to talk to somebody, there's, especially in this day of COVID, there's online counseling available. BetterHelp is one that I'm fond of. Open Path is something I've actually used myself this time last year. And so even if you're not in a position where you can just meet someone face to face, there is online counseling available. And as long as you open yourself up to let those feelings out, it's really no difference at all as compared to meeting someone face to face. So, as always, take care of your mentals, take care of your chicken. But what you got? What you got, Mayor?
Before I start my mayor report, shout out to TK with the Drogba, with the Legends of the Culture hoodie on, like myself with my Howard. So these are very cool items.
You guys got to get on the YouTube. You guys got to get on the YouTube.
See on the YouTube. You can see it on
this
the
culture, man. These
cultures. If you hear it, we're hoodie, a Legend of the Culture hoodies that are only available exclusively on the FTC Shopify. So ftcutd.myshopify.com. So go check us out. But
they got a shirt too. They got a shirt.
And country to popular belief that Howard is not for Howard University.
No, it's not.
Got that.
I do have my DMB on the way, though. Got my DMB on the way.
Man, that's a sweet NBC sports gig you got there.
But what should I start? Somebody just pick one.
Up.
All right, so up. All right, let's start up. Ronaldo. Speaking of Champions League, Mr. CR7 actually scored goal number. Guess what?
Sam did.
Goal number 750 today.
99. Sam did it.
It's 50. Not
I love y'all, man. For those who didn't know, that was all about the Benjamins reference with Mike Epps. I love that movie. All right, that's my first up. My second up, shout out to the God, the King, one of the newest legends in the game right now for us, Lewis Hamilton. He won number 95 in Bahrain this past week. That was a crazy race. Like crazy. Like he dominated, but just all the stuff that happened, like cars can set on fire, just all kinds of crazy things. But he prevailed to win number 95 in the Legend Carouse. Unfortunately, his next race he won't be racing because the tested positive for coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
We will see.
They try to take that on Legends, man.
We'll see you on the flip side, King. Once you get well, stay down.
Sean.
Yeah.
All I say is, last time we did 2 up and 2 down, you and I talked about Lewis Hamilton and who else? Marcus Rashford.
Yep.
And what happened? Who do we see on the cover of GQ in Britain the next week?
Lewis Hamilton, Marcus Rashford.
I'm just saying. We might know what the hell we talking about.
We know a little something. We know something. So on my downs, I got like 2.5, maybe a little bit. First off, my boy Erling Haaland, he's down with a hamstring injury. He'll be out for a little bit, out till about January-ish. But, get well. Want to see you come back, get well. And also, this was something I saw today, and I was just like dying laughing. But, I know I want a PS5. I know you guys want a PS5, right?
Nah.
I'm at the point here.
I want a PS5, man. I want to play FIFA in the new generation. I want a PS5. I just
got my PS4.
Well, I'm sorry to say that, but I know I want a PS5.
Well, if you win like an extra console, hook it up.
This is what's going down. So, like when they first came out, there was a shortage of. Sony fumbled the launch plan. The plan was they were supposed to have this strategic plan where everyone that wanted a system was supposed to get one per household, no matter what retailer you bought it from. But when they launched the information about the system, the retailers did not know the direction of where Sony wanted to go. So I think Walmart was like the first retailer to drop the link, and then everybody followed, and then boom, all the systems are gone. What happened were the scammers and bots, basically the bots bought all the supply. So now you have all of these scalpers who have this abundant supply, at least like 3,500 PlayStation 5s that they're trying to sell for at least like double the price, like $1,000, sometimes $2,000. But the funny part now is they're getting desperate because now people are like fed up. They're like, no, we're not about to pay these prices. These guys are being found. They're getting threatened. Some of them have been beaten up. Their stash has been stolen. So there's street justice that has been coming to these PS5 scalpers And now I think Sony is trying to really do them in by launching a huge wave of at least about, I think the goal of about 10 million, maybe by the end of the year. So if you are on the fence and you're trying to get a PS5, hold off. Do not pay the ransom from these scalpers to buy you the latest and greatest in video game technology. Hold your money, save your money, and wait for the real deal straight from the source. But I'm going to leave off with this. Raul Jimenez, get well.
Yeah.
Get well. Yeah. Somebody mentioned David Luiz earlier, man. Get well, Raul. Get well.
Yeah, he had a skull fracture last weekend because I get a real nasty collision with David Luiz, and yeah, like I didn't realize it was that bad until I heard like the day after, like he had to have like emergency surgery for a fracture.
Man, that was intentional, dude.
That was nasty.
Very.
But yeah, it's gonna be real. It's gonna be real crazy, like how when all these bots get found out, and then they're like, well, yeah, you can't sell. What if you're just stuck with all these PS5s in your closet? Like I got 15 of them. I can't really sell them. That.
And
it's funny you should mention that. And
these guys are online bragging and boasting about like taking pictures with like 50 PlayStations, like
on a wall. It's like a supercomputer.
And
So there's a wall of them. Like if you look at the whole wall, supercomputer status.
That's how I'm living.
They're trying to like throw it back in your face, like, "Oh, you're gonna buy this?" Like, no, I'm not. No, you're not taking my money. No. And they're gonna get stuck. They're gonna get stuck. You're gonna end up selling it retail or less than retail anyway. So screw you guys.
So on that note,
y'all should read Ready Player 2. Just saying,
this guy. Hey, even on that note, when the PS3s came out, the Xbox, what 360 was, I think maybe was the system that came out previously a few months before that. Everyone went nuts, bananas over them, trying to sell online because there was a limited supply. You could buy them from the store, regular price, and literally flip them for twice as much on eBay, and people would buy it. So I thought I was smart. I went out and waited in line, paid my friends handsome money for their time. I'm talking more than like $200-$300 a piece to wait in line for what was essentially right around 22 hours. We waited at a super Walmart. I bought 3 PlayStation 3s. I have one to this day. It's literally right behind me in my in this box here, this ottoman at the bottom, because it broke. I sold one. Actually, I didn't sell one. I traded it for car parts, which ended up being less than the value of the machine. And then the third one I returned.
Take this.
Yeah.
Big error. Take that. Take that.
All right. I'm gonna keep my short. I know y'all listening probably like y'all just rambling at this point, but a couple quick things. Just following up from last week with the Roy Jones Jr. Tyson fight. That was not a draw. That's not a draw.
How many rounds? How many rounds was that?
I think it went like 7. I think
8.
Oh wow, 8. And apparently it was a draw. Honestly, I think that was all ego. That nobody wanted to say that they actually won or lost. They just wanted to say, "Hey, it's all for charity." But the real down was Nate Robinson.
Stop.
That's the real down. Send black people back 40 years, getting knocked out by Jake Paul, and that wasn't even like a soft knockout. That was like you went to sleep. You got a good nap on that one.
Hey, shouldn't have left the chin open.
As a wise man once said, protect yourself at all times. Because man, you got knocked the fuck out.
You got knocked up.
And people now doing the Nate Robinson challenge like y'all petty as hell. y'all.
Yeah,
so
I'm literally looking this up. I actually still haven't seen this. So
yeah. Because I realized he got like knocked out he got knocked down multiple times. I'm like, damn, like that.
Man, nah, man. That's one of my biggest fears, getting knocked out like that. I'm good.
Like that was just that was tragic.
Apparently, he still took out the bag though.
No. So that was the crazy part because like the base pay that they got for that fight, they said was like $600. Now, what they got from pay-per-view sales probably will obviously boost that amount, but the actual base pay for their fight was $600. Now, Roy and Mike, they got $1 million plus, but the bare minimum they got was $600. Like you can't even buy iPhone off
PlayStation. The PlayStation.
Yeah, basically. Like I just want to give you a
PlayStation with that shit.
You bought a PlayStation just to get knocked the fuck out. That's just But other than that, one quick up. The women's national team, they come to a deal for improved working conditions with the U.S. Soccer. Basically, what that does, that allows them to move forward with appealing the ruling that came up a few months back regarding their equal pay battle. So that was some good progress made on that end. My last down really is nothing huge. Montreal Impact. The word coming down is that they are set to do a rebrand to be renamed Montreal FC. That's lame as shit. I talked about this on Twitter earlier today because like it really just like it spoke to my soul because like you've already seen like Austin FC, Charlotte FC, and FC Cincinnati. It's like you basically like place your city here, FC. And for those of you guys who don't know, there's actually there was a Montreal team back in the NASL days, Olympic de Montreal. And I was like, if you're going to go ahead and rebrand it, because mind you, they've had the Impact name for 30 years now. So it's like, why are you changing this name after this long? I won't quite understand. But at the same time, there's probably people who thought Newton Heath was dumb for changing their name to Manchester United. So there's always some context and perspective there. But I think that if they were going to change it and not use that's just dumb, and not use the Olympic name, that's just they're just leaving money on the table there. And there's supposed to be a new logo coming, new kits that aren't using the black and blue stripes. So no, we're effectively getting a new Montreal team in 2021. Of course, we still have Henri there, so not all is lost, but they're definitely cutting that brand by a good bit. So that just sucks there. And every time I see someone with a city FC name, I'm just thinking like, is the thinking there that there could only be one team in that city? Because what happens if a Montreal team comes to the Canadian Premier League and they're like, okay, we can't be Montreal FC, so we got to be what part of Montreal are we repping and all that, like. Or if there's
honestly, I think that makes it funner. To be fair,
like, I don't know, Grego. I don't know if I agree with you on that because, like, we all know that
Manchester it should be there already.
We know Manchester is red, hence Manchester United. We all know that City unites around the red side of Manchester. We know that.
That's true. True.
So, I mean, that argument doesn't really hold weight. So, just saying.
But
yeah.
Just Montreal FC is it's boring and and mind you, they even call it football in French. It's like foot. It's like foot. That's it. It's foot. So
yeah. How's it go? I'll take that point.
How's it go, Grego? How'd it go? Say that again.
Foot.
Ooh, that's what we should do. Add that to the Centennial Tony birthday celebrations. We'll pronounce the select words of your choosing. The audiences.
Yeah, you know how to say football and Dutch, right?
Oh, fuck.
What are you waiting for?
Football.
Voetbal.
Yeah, Voet, yeah.
Voetbal. I remember that T-shirt. I had that Nike T-shirt that had the swoosh that said Voetbal.
Yeah.
So they put a dash over the V, or is it the two dots? I can't quite.
The two dots over the O. Umlauts. The umlauts.
Umlauts. That's it.
But yeah. So kind of curious to see like what happens there, but it's a shame that Impact brand is essentially going away. But hopefully clearer heads will prevail there. But that's really all I got. That's all we got. That's it for our 99th episode. Again, next week is episode 100. Like I said, we hopefully will have a pretty decent show for you guys next week. We're gonna build something up for you guys. We're gonna light the show up for Tony's birthday and everything. And
We're gonna have smoke alarms. We're gonna have pinatas.
Mega Bowl. But as always, in the meantime, you guys on the social, the FTC,
UTD,
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're not on TikTok. We deleted that shit. So don't look us we used a song last week, so I got to figure out what we're gonna do this week.
And then a new TikTok.
We need to check our Slack.
Hell no.
We got bought out.
But yeah. I did see that. Like, bought out by Salesforce, $27 billion. That's a shit ton of money.
That's a move.
I do have Salesforce on my little eye-hole cover.
But yeah, make sure you catch us on the socials. Of course, the conversation is live as always on the Twitter. The smoke is always there. But yeah, we're gonna get ready for episode 100. We hope that you guys join us on your favorite podcast apps and on YouTube. But until then, for TK, for Coach,
there you go.
Yeah, I got the arrows ready. Coach is real. Coach is everywhere.
Well done, sir.
Take care of your people, folks. We'll see y'all next week. Yeah, out.